This is what pesticide poisoning looks like. Dead and dying bees. This is my third box, and it is even worse than yesterday, and it's worse than any of the others so far. I noticed some of my bees dying, and they weren't just dying like dead, but actually in the process of dying, and they had lost control of their system, their neural system. They were on their backs and spinning around and unable to. Usually bees can just flip over when they land upside down or they tumble around. They just flip back over and they can fly away and stuff, but these bees couldn't do that. And a lot of them that were already dead had their tongues out. It happened very quickly, and I recognized the signs of pesticide poisoning.
It's expected for a beehive to decline by 5 to 10% during the winter. In the US, winter losses have reached 30 to 50% or more. There are a couple different reasons why this is happening, but one big contributor that we as consumers have the potential to change is pesticide use. Many of you take the time to appreciate the people who pick our food, but how many of you take the time to appreciate the insects that make it possible?
Do other people like to eat? That's why I think people need to consider their people-pollinator relationship the most important relationship.
There are so many types of bees that don't make honey that they fall into different categories. For example, honeybees and native bees. There are over 20,000 known bee species in the world, and 4,000 of them are native to the United States. There are thousands of bee species that don't even live in hives, like digger bees and carpenter bees. But what does that all mean? The amount of varieties of bees there are is important because some of them specialize in plants we use for food, like squashes, pumpkins, and even vanilla. In almost all crops, native bees are the primary pollinator. In other words, native bees are largely responsible for pollinating plants that support the food systems we rely on every single day.
Without bees, you're going to see increased costs. If a human has to go and pollinate, the price will go up. So that's pretty significant, right? On a number of things, on apples and citrus, oranges, grapefruit, lemons, limes. I mean, there's a lot of food that are mainstays to, avocados, like mainstays to this region, that we would have a major shift. And so, it would be more expensive and fewer.
You know what the real sting is? Bees are in trouble and they need our help. And on the flip side, we need bees, and we need their help.
We all know the effect of pesticides on humans. And then you look at pesticides, with a little insect. It's pretty severe. So it's really important to consider. Maybe we don't need to use Roundup anymore. Maybe we don't need to use so many pesticides and neonicotinoids in farming, etc. Maybe there's a way of just slowly cutting back.
These harmful pesticides are commonly found in agriculture and in some of our everyday home improvement stores. And what about the people who work with our food? Studies show that migrant workers are highly susceptible to cancer. Pesticides are hurting bees and killing the people that pick our food.
Because some people don't know, right? They're like, how bad can it be if I can buy it in the store? Really? If it's so bad for bees, why are they allowed to sell it? Lobbyists for those big, billion-dollar companies like Bayer and Monsanto with their proprietary things. And yeah, it's greed, right? It's about money. Again, it's kind of like supply and demand. If people stop buying it, what are they going to do with it? They're going to stop producing it.
We can stop purchasing harmful pesticides at our everyday hardware store and instead use natural products. We can stop purchasing food that is grown with pesticides and shift toward purchasing organic, which is not sprayed and won't harm bees or our bodies. We can support bee-friendly legislation when it's time to vote. So the next time you're shopping at your local hardware store, grocery store, or you're voting, be mindful.